We are predicting the 2025 AFC South standings, and I'm going to go first, starting with the worst and then working my way back up to first. And this is probably the worst division in the AFC, and a team that has the potential to be the worst team in the NFL will finish last in this division. It's the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback. I like a lot of the other parts of this offense, but I cannot trust an offense led by Daniel Jones. None of your quarterbacks on this roster can throw, which I don't know, seems kind of important to the quarterback position. And I don't believe in this defense either. This feels like a disaster waiting to happen. This is a 5-12 year for the Indianapolis Colts to be going from a team with the potential to draft number one to the team who just drafted number one. I think third place in this division will be the Tennessee Titans. And we talked about it last week. I love Cam Ward. I really like their draft. I like their undrafted free agent class as well. However, this roster is still not good as a whole. I don't trust Brian Callahan at all. I think this team will get better as the year goes on, but 6-11 for the Tennessee Titans feels about right to me. And that's where I want to kick it to these two. Who do you guys think is better in winning this division? Is it going to be the Jags or is it going to be the Texans?
This is interesting, right? Because I want to say Houston. I like their coach. I like everything they got. I love CJ Stroud. I think they got good running backs. They got good wide receivers. I think the defense has got a lot of really good talent there. They have everything you would want from a team to win a division. And yet last year we saw them regress mightily, I might add, in comparison to where we thought CJ Stroud, if he had the year he had in his rookie year and his second year, we would be talking about CJ Stroud as one of the three best quarterbacks in the AFC, and he's going into his third year. That didn't happen. I like Houston better than I like the Jaguars up here. However, you look at that offense, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter sitting there playing both sides of the football. Trevor Lawrence has got them. My guy, who I'm really high on, Bashal Tutin's down there. I like his speed. I think he's got a lot of explosiveness down there. Matt doesn't like Bashal Tutin. He's a Bashal Tutin hater. Don't even know why. He woke up one day and just said, I hate Bashal Tutin. But I like the running backs.
I don't hate Bashal Tutin. We just have so
hate
much
me
Bashal
for
Tutin
for something
on
I
this
said.
show. It's ridiculous.
So, but, you look at that running back room, you got Tank Bigsby, Bashal Tutin, you got, Travis Etienne. There's a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, you look at that talent they got there. I do miss Evan Ingram on that team. I think if Evan Ingram on that team would really just round it out for me. But I like the Jaguars. So I'm going to go with my heart, and my buddy Thomas is going to love this because he's a huge Jaguars fan. Duval, you guys are winning this division this year, baby. This is your division to win. Houston's going to finish second. And I'm going to say something in an AFC West segment that's going to explain this, but Houston also does not make the playoffs this year.
Ooh,
they do not make the playoffs this year. I think that they still regress. I think that there's still some questions there on that team that they have to figure out, and I'm not sure they're going to do it. There's some injuries, too, to that wide receiver core and some of the talent there. I just don't know if they're going to overcome. So I love the Texans. My head says Texans. My heart right now is saying Duval Nation.
I just don't like the Jacksonville's roster as much as I like Houston's. I really don't. I do think they have questions in their secondary. I do like Tyson Campbell at corner, but I think their secondary is a bit questionable. As many questions as there are that you might think you have with Houston, you might have those questions with Jacksonville as well. The offensive line in Jacksonville is still suspect, as well as Houston's. I like the weapons right now on Houston, and I like the quarterback more in Houston than I do in Jacksonville. I was very high on Trevor Lawrence last year, and he did not really impress me at 11 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 12 appearances. So when he was playing, he was trash, and then wasn't playing, they were worse. So it was just a nightmare for Trevor Lawrence. But Liam Coen is now the head coach. And I think Liam Coen can unlock a potential from Trevor Lawrence in a way that we've never seen. Look, Doug Peterson was great for a time, but it's time to move on. It's time to get a bit younger, and it's time to really evolve as an offense. And I think with Trevor Lawrence, a guy like Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., these weapons, in my opinion, are solid enough to get good or even great production from Trevor Lawrence. But the defense and the offensive line still concern me. They still concern me to a point where I just can't put these Jags above 500 quite yet in an AFC that's very difficult. I think that they are going to be 8-9. I think they're going to be competitive this year. And I think the Texans, Demeco Ryans to me is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I love their defense. I think it can be the best defense in the entire league this year. And I think that's going to take them to an 11-6 record and win this division.
Listen, I have done this, and this was probably the hardest back and forth that I had in any of our division prediction videos so far. Was these two teams, was the Jags and the Texans, because I really like the Jags offseason. However, I have to stay true to what I always tell the kids that I coach. Okay, I always tell them, learn from your mistakes. Don't make the same mistake twice. And if you do something wrong, make an adjustment. Last year, I picked the Jags to win this division, and it was a 4-win season for them. I am learning from my mistakes, and I am making an adjustment. Okay, I am picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to finish second in this division. Like you mentioned, Sammy, I like Liam Coen. This offense has playmakers. I like they're 4 deep in the running back room too, of 4 running backs that I really like, and I think can really be effective in that offense. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence too. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback right now, but I still believe that he has the potential to be a top 10 quarterback. I like their front 7 as well. Like you mentioned, Sammy, the edge rush duo is really, really good, but I'm still concerned about that secondary, despite adding Travis Hunter, and we don't really know what their plan is with him yet, obviously. I think this is a 9-8 team. Obviously, difference between 9-8 and 8-9 is a crazy 1-score game, which happens every year in the NFL. But I think they'll be fighting for that 7 seed in the AFC wild card, but I don't think they'll win the division, because I think the Houston Texans, like Sammy mentioned, I think they might have the best defense in football this year. I love Demeco Ryans. CJ Stroud's a top 10 quarterback. Nico Collins on the outside is maybe a top 5-ish wide receiver in the NFL. He is really, really good. There's still a lot of uncertainty with that offensive line, even with their new tackles, Cam Robinson and Ariante Ursary, who I really like, but uncertainty with their wide receiver and running back depth as well. I just believe this defense is too good, and I think it's going to make life a lot easier for them, basically like it did last year, where the offense was terrible last year, but their defense just made up for every error their offense seemed to make. So I think it's another 10-7 year and an AFC South title for the Houston Texans for the 3rd straight year, and another either wild card or divisional round exit for the Houston Texans, just because I have concerns about their offensive line, their wide receiver 2 situation with Jaden Higgins and with Christian Kirk and with Xavier Hutchinson, with Tank Dell out. I'm still concerned about that. Joe Mixon, obviously, we don't know what's going on with him as far as his injury situation goes. So I don't think they're going to do much damage, but I'm going to practice what I preach to the kids. Okay. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And I am picking the Houston Texans to win this division.
I do want to get this off my chest before we continue. The Colts hired Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard back in 2023. They both collectively agreed AR5 is our guy. He is our guy. Terrible. And we are going to develop, and we know he's raw, but we're going to develop him. How in the world at the beginning of year 3 are you going to tap out completely? How?
Well, I mean, AR kind of tapped out last year.
AR tapped out. Same fucking thought.
You know what? I kind of set myself up, didn't I?
Oh, buddy.
You better clip that.
I'm making that into a
You
story.
better clip that.
Yeah.
That's you guys got me.
That was amazing.
You guys got me. But my point is my point is this though. Like, you drafted him 4th overall. You make it work until you can't. That's what I think. I don't think you can possibly you can't possibly think to yourself going into a season where you have a question mark at quarterback, we're going to bench him and put in Daniel Jones as if that's a better option. There's nothing to look for the Colts now. Nothing.
I think that this is more of a situation where they thought to themselves, how do we prevent ourselves from screwing this young man up more? And the best way is to let him sit to develop. And if it depends on how he takes it, right? How he reacts to not winning the starting job. If he mopes and he's upset and he starts throwing a tantrum, then he's a child and you don't want that kind of attitude leading your team. Yeah, and if he takes it in stride and he starts doing the work behind the scenes and he develops, then you've accepted that. But these are all things you should have known before you drafted him. And
you should have done that to start his career, though.
Yeah,
you should have done that to start his career. Yeah. You don't do that year 3.
Agreed.
It's year 3 now.
They fumbled it.
Agreed.
They fumbled it.
That's they fumbled it.
Both of them have to go. Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard have to go. I'm going that far. They have to go. There's no way. This is a franchise altering pick you're making at 4th overall, and you butcher it in the biggest way. Oh my goodness, bro. Jim Irsay is rolling in his grave, bro. You cannot do that.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.